After opening rounds in Japan and Italy, completing the World War II Axis Powers trilogy, we find ourselves where else but in Germany, more specific, the Nürburgring Grand Prix Strecke, and host venue for round 3 of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Season 10 Championship. And all the action from green flag to victory donuts can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel. As the shadows grow long and thin, I say guten Nachmittag and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green. As cyberspace flows into your place over these 15 streaming award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the doubleheader format that consists of an initial 40-minute feature followed by a 25-minute sprint. GSRC will be here to bring you all the action as we count down to green here at the ring for the third round of the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Season 10 Championship. And here to do all of that is Soup and Crackers. Yours truly, Phil Soupson, joined way up in the press box to bring you our Word's Eye view by my longtime AOR partner, Sean Crackers Ambrose. The hardest working man in sim race broadcasting, Joe Peak, has director duties armed with cameras, located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. If home cooking accounts for anything, then our points leader, Renee Osterkamp, is in good shape to increase his already well-established point lead. With 2 events in the books, the German SimRC star has earned Best of Day honors both outings and has yet to be beaten in a feature race. But there's an old German saying that goes, don't slice your Bratenbrot before it is baked. So with that said, with that bit of old country wisdom behind us, let me reintroduce Sean Ambrose to tell us about the track at hand.
Soup, how appropriate that we find ourselves here at the very same track that just earlier today the Porsche LMP1 set the very new track record. So, but you know, in the 1980s, the Nordschleife was classified as unsafe for Formula One. So what they did to attract Formula One back to the Eifel, the then 4.5 kilometer Grand Prix circuit was built between 81 and 84, and it was extended in 2001 by adding the Mercedes Arena section to its present length of 5.148 kilometers. Easy for me to say. Today, you know, the circuit is between 10 and 25 meters wide, featuring 7 left and 10 right turns, as well as large runoff zones and gravel beds. Now, the Nürburgring is the essential importance for Germany's history of motorsport, and also one of the most popular national monuments in the country. Now, while many traditionalists refuse to accept the new track, clinging to a nostalgic past not likely to return, let's let you draw your own conclusions as we take a lap around the modern Nürburgring's Grand Prix circuit.
All right, we've got Scott Newton in the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around the Nürburgring. Coming down to the first hairpin, it's a great chance for an overtake, but anyone on a single screen setup might find it hard to hit the apex accurately. It also makes it kind of hairy racing side by side or attempting a crossover. Pretty quickly, you've got to switch sides for turn 2. The curved exit can make it tough to gauge when to put the power down. Same thing with the approach to the chicane of 3 and 4. The curved braking and the very slow nature of this portion can make it frustrating. It'll be easy to overdrive it through here. From there, you've got quite a ways to turn 3, but this upcoming left-hander is still a difficult one to pass on. It's deceptively quick and also leads directly into the forward curve, where the switchback means having to compromise your line. It's best to try and hug the left side on the exit. A lot of drivers will be setting themselves up for a run out of here down into the Dunlop hairpin. Expect more attempts at an overtake into the braking for this long, patience-trying right-hander. There's a fair bit of banking in this corner, but it's still very difficult to make passes around the outside. Plus, as you come out of here, drivers will be tracking all the way out, and you're likely to get shoved into the gravel. From there, switch to the right to help you straighten out the Schumacher S. This will be flat out, so it's all about limiting your steering inputs. Then comes turn 11, which sometimes offers chances for a sneak attack. But be careful about how wide you come off on the exit, because you need to quickly switch back to give yourself as good a run as possible off the Bilstein curve. Compromise your line through here, and you're going to be a sitting duck, since it's a long acceleration zone down to the Vidal chicane. This is another place where overtakes will be very popular, because the draft is going to be reeling in anyone within striking distance. Side-by-side battles will be erupting often, but it's so incredibly tight through here that you'll want to make sure you're single file once you reach the apex. From there, it's a short burst to the final hairpin, which is pretty straightforward. Square off your exit for a better launch to keep yourself safe from attack down the front straight. Make sure to practice your pit entry too, so that you don't have a Coulthard moment and smash into the pit entry wall. But hopefully you kept it all together and have now finished a lap around the Nürburgring.
A lap around the modern Grand Prix circuit at Nürburgring. Now, as promised, here comes the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate what's coming up. So, Sean, before we can look forward, we must look back. Who won Best of Day honors for round 2 at Monza?
Yes, best of day. You know, he scored 50 points in the season opener, and he follows it up with another 50 points performance in round 2. Of course, I am talking about the SimRC star and defending champion, René Oosterkamp. While Oosterkamp got the feature race win again, his SimRC teammate Patrick Kessler was second best, thanks to a 4th in the feature and a 2nd in the sprint. Flipping that result around was AOR Orange's Phil Reed, tying Kessler for second best honors. Another driver feeling right at home is Germany's Stefan Hermann for SimRC Retro, who makes the best of day overlay once again, thanks to a 3rd and a 7th combination. Sammy Hayar may not be able to drive 55, but the Russian rookie Alexei Sorokin sure can, posting a 5th and a 5th for positive SimRacing Orange. Despite winning the sprint race, privateer Dominic Gattermeyer was buried 9th overall at Monza. So, Soup, how did that affect the point standings?
Yeah, it just goes to show you that you have to be able to put those 2 races together to get there. Let's go ahead and look at the overall standings now. This line gets used once per season, so I might as well burn it now. The best German-speaking duets since Milli Vanilli, René Oosterkamp and Patrick Kessler, sit 1-2 for SimRC. Keeping them honest is Phil Reed for AOR Finding Nemo. SimRC Retro Stefan Hermann is 26 markers behind his countrymate. And there's Alexei Sorokin making the top 5 overlay for the first time this season for PSR Pumpkin. Now, let's look at the team championship, where it is Oosterkamp and Kessler who were 1-2 on the best of day chart for the opening round, and as Crackers just explained, 1-2 again for round 2. So yes, those numbers are correct. SimRC has 181 points and a lead of 101 points in the team championship. Now, not to point out the negative, but we get paid to report Kerry Nolden is buried in 29th place in the driver's standing, has yet to chip in a single point to Team AOR Clockwork. Nonetheless, Phil Reed has them positioned in second, up 2 spots, while Reed's teammate has yet to contribute, and don't fear, Nolden will get his act together soon enough. Stefan Hermann has no teammate for SimRC Retro. How long can this antisocial strategy keep Hermann on the top 5 overlay remains to be seen. Speaking of partners, Lubomir Morris has found himself a quality teammate in the form of Alexei Sorokin. Look for PSR Macaroni and Cheese to be strong this season. Charlie Summers and Daniel Morris dropped 3 places for Team AOR. Well, let's call him Sapphire. Okay, Crackers, that might have been a bit of overkill there on my part, but I think I made my displeasure known about using colors to differentiate associated teams. I'm done. Enough said. Point made. Not another word on that topic for the rest of the season. Here's something I always enjoy without reservation. Crackers, how we doing here with the series and feature details?
A kinder, gentler Soup for the rest of the season.
I'm done.
Here we go.
Done.
All right, set in my very best AM radio voice there. Series details, Season 10, Round 3 of 12. Now, 3 drops you'll get throughout the season. Today, we've got the great doubleheader of the feature race, followed by the very quick 25-minute sprint race. The setup on the Formula Renault 2.0, well, it's driver's discretion, driver/crew chief. Sometimes you play both. Sometimes you have a crew chief. So, yeah, they're setting up these cars for optimal performance here. Very fast track, very tough to get around. Fast repairs, forget it. You crash it, you bought it, Soup.
And then, of course, so we're doing our feature race today. What is the feature race like?
Okay, so it's 40 minutes. We're in the end of a qualifying session right now, lone qualifying session. Race distance 40 minutes. The grid will, based on this qualifying session, that's how they'll grid up. They're going to need a pit stop. Okay, at least one. There's not enough fuel in the car to take you the whole way. There is a 15x incident cap, so that's contact, off course. Mistake in the pits, you'll get incident cap there, 15x. Now the points to pay out all the way back to 20th. The winner will get 32 points, Soup, and that's very, very important, especially when we get to the sprint race, because those points are a little bit different. Now, when we go to the sprint race, the regrid for that is based on the top 20 that finish in this race, and they invert that, and you have to be within 2 laps down. If you're more than 2 laps down and you're still in the top 20, well, unfortunately, you don't get to regrid up at the front of the race.
That's always fun. As we get to the end of the race, we cover the winner, and we also get to cover what we like to call the Dos Equis position, the double X position, as they battle to be in that 20th spot. One last piece of business, Sean, and that is the weather. Ooh, a little bit nippy here.
Yeah. Well, the overcast condition is really, I think, the concern here. It's the temperature. I got to be honest. It's going to be a fast track today. Now these cars do have tire warmers, Soup, so you would expect they'll start on a warm set, but because of the temperature, grip is going to need to work in a little bit. That first lap is still going to be, regardless of the tire warmer, I can tell you that the out lap is going to be a little bit sketchy. They do go from a standing start, so there'll be no time to, no pace lap to go around to scrub in your tires a little bit and get a little more heat in them. Again, look for this opening lap here at the Nürburgring today to be pretty tricky.
We talked about it last week. The real big change in this series dynamically was when iRacing came in with the tire warmers. And yeah, it used to make that first lap an adventure, to say the least. Sean, let's go ahead and look at the track layout here. You talked about the first lap. They line them up. It's a dive into that first corner, which is a tight one. My gosh, I think, it gets busy quick here.
Yeah, Castrol is it's an extreme hairpin, and it's a heavy braking zone. In this Formula Renault 2.0, you better have the brake bias set just right, because boy, the rear end will whip around on you in a heartbeat down through there. And then you've got to navigate your way through the whole Mercedes arena, which is just a series of twists and turns that spill you out of turn 5. If you've made it to turn 5, then you get a really nice run down to turn 6, a sweeping left-hander that sets up getting into the Ford curve, which tightens and narrows down really quickly for you. So very technical parts of the track to get through on this opening lap, Sue.
Looking at Sue sitting up on top of qualifying again, it's in the words of the great old American baseball player Yogi Berra, it's deja vu all over again. Renee Osterkamp and Patrick Kessler sitting 1-2. Sean, I don't want to sound like Soup expounding in my magical armchair going on and on, but I hate corner names that are named after sponsors. Is corner number 1 now? You telling me that's Castrol now? Is that what it is?
That's funny, as the director and I were both talking about that before you arrived to pre-race, and it is Castrol. It is the Mercedes arena. It is the Ford curve, the Dunlop curve.
Oh, jeez.
Michael Schumacher is not a sponsor.
Thank God for that.
Valvoline is.
Go to grid here. It's a Coca-Cola I have on my chart. I don't know if they're still around anymore. Let's go to the grid random. I got to hustle through. There's a big field. On the front row, Renee Osterkamp, Patrick Kessler. Sean?
All right, row 2 going to be Josh Thompson, Manuel Hoyer.
A new name, Valtteri Alender in the 5th position. Glenn Key behind him.
Ooh, he's fast, too. I practiced with him earlier. Luke Barton, Alexei Sirotkin, 7th and 8th.
Then we get down into the 9th position. That's Phil Reed and Christian DeCatch. Good to see him back.
Row 6, Daniel Morris, Charlie Summers.
In the Baker's dozen spot is Lubomir Morris and Urkel Lindstrom.
Dominic Gettemeyer and Ryan Walker.
David Butelaar and Al Hay.
Tom Van Hoyman, Evan Imre round out the top 20.
Blackjack, Sarah Dove, Connor Ryan outside her.
Stuart Milne, Marvin Sluman.
Then you got Alan Hedgecock and Joseph Ringrose in 25th.
And, Adam Hedgecock.
Adam Hedgecock.
James McRitchie and Thomas. And that's right, Andriama Herasoa. That's right.
We're going to make it. John Roberts, Robert Plumley, and Matteo Cupola-Neri in the final spot. GSRC gets their commentator bonus to the commentators. We got through the entire field. All right, it's round 3 here for the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault Season 10 Championship. We've gone through the entire field. Now all of our attention sits on Rene Oosterkamp, our pole sitter. He sits to the left. Corner number 1 is a right-hander. This is interesting that they have him out there. I guess they figured that's the spot. Get out on the racing line. Kessler has the preferred position if he can get a jump on his teammate. Let's hope, let's cross our fingers that they can all get through this tight corner number 1. My lap Mac, it says Okayama, but I guess now it is the Castrol corner. Stay with us, come back next season. It'll be the Domino's Pizza corner, I'm sure. You can hear the engine start to harmonize. Gather at the chicken steak, cover me on the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. And look at Oosterkamp come across and defend as he weaves back and forth, trying to get that preferred position, holding him off.
Boy. 3 wide. We've already got an incident.
Key got turned around, and then I think he got punted by the blue and white car of Allender. Wasn't his fault as he was turned sideways. Pretty much that could have been a lot worse. They're still rolling. Just a little bit of hold up there.
Yeah, poor Christian DeCatch is the one that got left there by everybody.
All this going behind Oosterkamp now, who's down, working into the forward curve. That's 7. He's followed by his teammate Kessler. Good to see Josh Thompson back with us. He's always fast, sitting in 3rd. Manuel Hoyer and Luke Barton, the privateer, racing in 5th. Down into the Dunlop hairpin.
Yeah, they're starting to they're kind of starting to settle in here already, Sue. The madness has kind of subsided all of a sudden. They're nice and steady up front. 7th place, Glenn Key. He's about to be eaten up. I'm not sure if his car is that healthy. Going around here is Daniel Morris in the 777 machine. Key's struggling. Now he's holding up Charlie Summers and Alexis Sorokin behind him. Oh, and there goes Key off into the sand. That's going to open it up for the Russian driver to get through, as well as Charlie Summers. Lap 1 complete. And we're going to do this radio style again as we're having some issues early on here. Oh, what do you got, Sean? Couple more cars off. Robert Plumley was involved. Matteo Capolinari was involved in that.
Capolinari, what happened was as they were heading down into the chicane, Capolinari looked like he got into the back. No, he got punted. It was John Roberts got him. A little bit of a checkup in John Roberts' defense as Capolinari was trying to woe up a bit. It's kind of accordion effect back there, and Roberts not able to get off of it. We come back to you now. Look at that sad sky pressing down here on Germany. Good to have the picture back. Oosterkamp out in front by 1.7 seconds over Patrick Kessler. A nice battle for 3rd. Josh Thompson and Manuel Hoyer. These two guys about 2 car lengths back. Reed and Barton. Reed has got around Barton. Barton was in 5th. Reed has made up that spot. He qualified in 7th. Let me correct myself. He qualified in 9th. He's up to 6th. So Reed on the move. He's got about 0.7 of a second to get to Manuel Hoyer.
Soup, real quickly, let me give you an update here. Bunch of cars. Glenn Key, Urka Lindstrom, Evan Imre, Marvin Sluman, David Butlar, Christian Tukech have all had to come in early as a result of damage. And, boy, that's going to really put them behind the 8 ball here in this race. Great battle, though, going on back here between Valtteri Allender and Alistair Hay. Now it's Hay and Ryan Walker. This in the back of the mid-pack, really.
That's a battle for 16th position. Al Hay out in front. Sarah Dove in the mix as well. And now we're looking, Charlie Summers has had an issue. Summers loops it going into the first chicane, and he loses 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to lose a ton of position as he has a hard time. Oh, and he brings it right back in front, and that was all Summers' fault. He brought it right back in front of Hoyer, and there was no way for the guys to get off of it. We're going to watch it on the replay. Do we have, if we're able to get there? I guess not. Charlie Summers was off track. He brought it back on. He waited and he waited and he waited. Then he lost patience. Brought it right back on track in front of traffic. And then we'll see. We're going to come back live. We're having trouble with our replay there. Hate to put the blame on it, but when I see the guy that's off on the grass, you've got to be patient. Let's go up. This is a good battle. Let's go up to third. Manuel Hoyer, Sean, is the cork in the bottle, I think, here.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. They are looking for opportunity. I know Josh Thompson is back there trying to dissect this one opportunity here to get by. Phil Reed starting to look a little impatient himself, maybe. And then, of course, you got Luke Barton back there kind of completing this little train of cars.
Here comes Thompson.
Yep.
And he gets him. So there's one. And now, oh, look at that. Hoyer fighting back.
Not done and dusted yet.
Now they're going to be on the gas. Now look at this. As they're going to come up, they're heading towards the chicane here. This is going to be a left-right chicane. And look at that. As you can see from the outside now, here comes Reed trying to find his way in there. Oh, he's going to lose momentum. That's going to open the door for Luke Barton if he wants to step through.
Well, Barton going to have an opportunity. He can keep it close. Going to have an opportunity to draft up on him here down the straight. But, boy, did not keep it close enough there on the exit Soup.
All right, just to report up front, Osterkamp has a 2-second lead on Kessler. But now, with Thompson getting around Hoyer, that interval to Kessler for second. We'll mark it down, boys and girls, on your clipboards. 3 seconds. We'll see if Josh Thompson can run him down. He's starting to gap himself a little bit from Hoyer. Reed, who's worked his way up from 9th, sitting in 5th. Let's go to 15th position now. We're looking here. We're going to go to, there we go, Adam Hedgecock. He's in a little battle being chased by Van Hoyman and Connor Ryan back there in 18th. A nice 3-car battle. Hedgecock qualified in 25th, up 9 spots, having a good run. Everybody going the right direction from these three. Van Hoyman up a few spots, as is Ryan.
It's a good look back through the field, but man, Luke Barton up here is really putting a lot of pressure on Phil Reed right now. Trying to work him into a mistake.
Well, let's jump back up because he's got as they work into 11. Reed has lots touched a little bit there with Hoyer. Now remember, I think Reed has already passed Barton once on the track, so Barton trying to get this back.
Yeah.
Reed now stretching it out through this chicane, heading into the final corner. Sean, is it the Coca-Cola hairpin, or has that changed as well? What's your trap neck?
I still say Coca-Cola. So
all right,
I stick with the soft drink, sir.
Might be Dr. Pepper next year, but that's all right. Well, for right now, it's Coca-Cola. A little communication going on right now. The top 5 starting to settle down a bit. Let's go back and review the back half of your top 10. We'll go to 7th position. Haven't talked much about him. Alexei Sorokin, remember, he's up in the points right now. He's racing in 7th. He's got Daniel Morris behind him. They're not really close enough to be much of a threat to each other. Now another Morris, spelled differently but said the same, Lubomir, back in 9th. Racing out of the Czech Republic. And then, Sean, here's the guy who put on the show in 10th position last round in the sprint race, and that's Dominic Gatermeyer.
Yeah, there he is. He's could be coming into a little bit of battle with Charlie Summers as Summers continues to roll. His pace getting better, Soup. Gatermeyer going to have a mirror full of them here real soon.
Charlie Summer had worked his way through some of the traffic until he made that mistake and then lost several positions. A handful of positions. Several was probably too many. Probably should have lost a few more until he brought it out. Looking there at Charlie. He's got about 4 seconds back to now. It says Alistair on here, but I've been told that we can call him Ali Hay if we like. He goes by Ali. So Ali, nice job racing in 12th. And he's got about 3 seconds over Little Bird, Sarah Dove. Sarah Dove really kicking herself last week. She thought she might have had a sprint race win coming her way. She made a mistake from the lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, she avoided a lot of trouble here in the beginning of this race, and it's paying off for her right now. They're in 13th. Charlie Summers, Dominic Gatermeyer now going at it. This is for 10th. Gatermeyer trying to complete the move. Summers trying to complete the move. Yeah. Gatermeyer not having any of it.
Oh my, careful boys. They go down into the corner number 1. That sharp right-hander. First one in is Summers. He gets the pass made. Gatermeyer falls back into 11th. Remember, Summers has good pace. He only qualified in 12th, but he had moved up a few spots, as we mentioned before. He's got a ways to go now, about 4 seconds to get there. All right, let's go back up to 3rd. Hey, Sean, yeah. I thought Manuel Hoyer was the cork in the bottle, and Thompson got around it, but here he comes back.
Maybe not so much, yeah. Now, Hoyer, I think maybe just had to get comfortable in the car, get a few laps under his belt, but it seems like ever since Thompson made that pass initially, Hoyer has been back on his game here, and honestly, maybe I'm just seeing it on my screen, but it looks like Thompson might be having a small connection issue.
Yeah, and it also, this may be not Manuel Hoyer gaining on Thompson, but Thompson falling back, as Thompson has made no ground. Remember when I told you to mark it down on your clipboards, the interval between Kessler and Toplin was 3 seconds? Well, now it's 4.8, so Josh going the wrong direction, and here is Manuel Hoyer looking on him.
Hang on, just behind him, got Luke Barton and Phil Reed. Barton's trying to pull off the move, trying to get it done in the chicane.
He got him.
Hey, got him in Vidal. Oh, and look at that, Phil's going off. Going to take his pit stop now, Soup.
I'm not sure if that pit stop was really what he wanted to do, or if he didn't get the left sides off in the grass. The car got a little bit loose. It started pointing toward pit road, and he didn't want to argue with the car. Oh, let's go to Hoyer. And the pass is made. So Manuel Hoyer, he had lost 3rd position. He gets it back.
Yes, he does.
And you know, Sean, we didn't talk much about the curbing here, but sometimes the cars can get over the curbing and damage the undercarriage, and who knows, maybe Josh's car isn't feeling healthy.
Or even worse than that, can get you get over that curbing a little bit and it'll get the car really loose. Fighting back, look at Josh Thompson trying to make a move on the inside. He's going to get it.
Oh, and here we go, and I think my partner might be a touch behind there.
I was, darn it.
That's all right.
Got all excited about nothing. I know, I'm sorry.
So there it is. Oh, but you're doing a little crystal ball commentating there. You got the magic screen that can see the future, as Thompson almost got into the back of Hoyer. A great battle for 3rd. Unfortunately, these two drivers continue to lose distance to the two guys. Osterkamp and Kessler running 1-2. You know, for a team that is just crushing it, they have to win the award for less screen time for anybody dominating a series, and that is Rene Osterkamp and Patrick Kessler. Not much to show. There it is. They're just running away with it.
Then why don't we take a look at...
You know what?
What?
Let's go ahead and Reed. Let's just double up on Reed here. He's made a stop. 7 seconds. He's in and out.
Right. And he comes out right behind Connor Ryan, the number 43 and the number 44 right next to each other.
And Reed actually, he gets around Ryan right now, so he moves up into 15th. Again, Reed going a little bit, but he's losing all the aster. He's going to lose momentum. Connor coming back. A little bit of a full battle, remember, because Ryan still has to make that pit stop. Phil Reed right now is racing the guys on the other side of the track. He's racing, Luke Barton, really. The interval between Barton and Reed, about 40 seconds. 40.5 seconds. So we'll see if they're able to, that gap closes or stretches out. Reed doing what my dad used to call the early peel, late reveal. You peel off into the pits early, they forget about you. What's revealed later, you find yourself way up at the front. Where'd he come from?
We haven't seen anybody do that here recently, I don't think. And oh boy, Hoyer and Thompson still going at it. Thompson gets the best of them here
for now. So it was Hoyer out in front. Thompson got him back. Hoyer came back and got that. Thompson comes back now, and I don't think the Hoyer is done as he's working his way there. Cannot get it. Good battle going on from these two guys. Thompson racing for Radicals Online. Manuel Hoyer, both veterans of the series now. Hoyer's been around a long time. Thompson's came in a couple seasons ago. Took a little hiatus. Good to see him back. Take this opportunity to maybe give some love to our hard charger, currently in 14th position, James Ritchie. Mick Ritchie, sorry.
Mick Ritchie, yep. And I've been watching his progress a little bit, Soup. He's got pretty decent pace, and I'll tell you what, it's got a legitimate shot of getting to the top 10 here before I think this race is over. We've got a little ways to go. It's still just under 25 minutes. Anything possible here for McRitchie as pit stops will start to cycle through.
Got about a second and a half to get to Ryan Walker in the Baker's Dozen spot. And that gap is actually coming down a little bit. Oh, it's coming down big time as McRitchie is making a good move up to Walker. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Looking for some other close battles out there.
Yeah, Soup, actually, I wanted to go to the number 66, Lubomir Morris. Lubomir has picked things up a little bit here. He's already up 5 spots, and Daniel Morris right in front. So we've got the battle of the Morris brothers going on right now.
There we go.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I should state, but I will. They're not actually brothers.
I think if you look on the logo there, you can probably figure out by the spelling. But one hailing out of racing out of the UK, the other out of the Czech Republic. But they're all brothers on the track, Sean.
Yes, they are, Soup. Yeah, and maybe I shouldn't have said anything about Lubomir, because just as I thought he was starting to close, well, things have kind of opened back up a little bit again for Daniel.
Of course, we talked about that in the Countdown to Green show, that Lubomir Morris has teamed up with Alexei Sorokin. Those guys are going to be really powerful. Watch that team climb up in the standings. Don't know if anybody...
Look, you know what? We can go back to 15th, the 44 and the 43. Phil Reed just got around Connor Ryan. Connor Ryan trying to get it back down here in Vidal, and no. Phil going to get a much better run through Vidal.
Yeah, Reed has no time for this nonsense. Remember, Reed has made his stop.
Yeah.
He has one thing in mind right now, and that is hot lapping. He does not need to be pestered by these guys who still have to make a pit stop. The interval, just to check in, the interval back to Reed from the guy who was racing with Luke Barton. That is now 44 and a half seconds. Of course, the top 14 drivers all yet to pit. Reed racing in 15th.
Yep, and you know what? Connor Ryan back here in 16th, maybe starting to feel a little bit of heat from Tom Van Hoyman, who's up a couple spots. This is, again, a battle for 16th place right now. Hoyman starting to apply a little bit of pressure, trying to take advantage of another spot. He started back in 19th, has worked his way to 17th, keeping himself in the top 20. That's where you want to be, Sue.
Yep. Looking at that battle there with Ryan and Reed. I love that kind of copper cam there that we were on. You know, we're going to jump you around a little bit. Let's go up a few spots to Ryan Walker. This is the one, Sean, we were documenting. Here comes James McRitchie. He's coming up on him now. Did not take him long to run him down.
Well, McRitchie the last time around was almost a full second faster, and yeah, that'll close the gap pretty quickly. And McRitchie, again, we talked about how far up through the field he's come. He's had really, really good pace.
These guys race about over 6 seconds behind Sarah Dove, who's sitting in the 12th position.
And by the way, Van Hoyman got that pass done on Connor Ryan. That got him up to 16th.
That's probably good for Reed. Reed didn't like Ryan behind him. That gives him a little bit of gap. Reed was able to distance himself now. He's 3.5 seconds ahead of Van Hoyman.
Reed exploring the boundaries of the track there for a moment. Really pushing. He's pushing hard right now.
Got to be careful. There is that incident cap, and you can be DQ'd. There are bonus points for racing clean. If you can come in without any incidents, you pick up 2 bonus points. If you happen to pick up a stray one, they'll let you have 1. You get 1 bonus point for that. Anything more than that, whether you get 2 or 20, it's the same story. Well, maybe 20. Maybe a different story.
Maybe 25 or 624.
25. Oh, there you go. A little Chicago reference. Wrong continent. Wrong century. I don't know how many people got that reference, but we'll throw it in there anyway. That's part of what you get here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Our director says he's got it, and he's a millennial.
Thompson is in. Josh Thompson peeling off. Well, that breaks up our party at the front here.
With that done, let's go ahead and find Reed right now. He's in 15th position, heading into the final chicane. I don't think he's going to be able to get around before Thompson gets in and out, even with this extended stops. Thompson now into his box. Reed out of the final hairpin now. He almost spins. You can hear it. Oh, that's going to cost him. Thompson rolling.
Here comes Phil.
Thompson is out on track, and Thompson is into the first hairpin, and Reed gets the hairpin now. But what it has done is brought him back in with, there's Hoyman and Ryan now back in the mix.
Yep, so Phil separated by just under 3 seconds behind Thompson. I think fighting with some of that traffic has slowed Phil Reed down.
Yeah, the spin didn't help. I thought he might have had a chance to get there. It'll be interesting to see. Remember, he was battling with Luke Barden when he decided to come in, so it'll be interesting how he fares with Barden. There are 12 cars that have yet to... Well, there are many cars that have yet to pit, but the top 12 have not. Josh Thompson, leader of all the cars who pitted in the Baker's Dozen spot. Oh, and just in case you've forgotten...
I haven't, Sue.
Ryan, Renee Osterkamp out there. How about this, Sean? He's only up by 1.6 seconds on Kessler, though.
Yeah, Kessler's hanging with him. He's not catching him at a blinding rate, but he is definitely hanging with him right now, and Kessler doing a really, really good job of getting his Formula Renault around this track right now.
Best way to tell those two cars apart, Osterkamp races with white rims, Kessler races, I'm going to say those are black rims for Kessler, or dark colored rims.
They are black, so yes.
I appreciate that. I can do white and black. My rods and cones can go.
Oh, just in front of them, look at that. John Roberts spins right in front of our leader.
They go right around him. That was a... You never know here on the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship Season 10. Man.
Boy, poor John. John was just carrying too much momentum here, and the car snaps around on him. I had that happen to me several times in practice, Sue.
Luckily, he was not any closer, or the leaders were not any closer to him. They had enough time to react and get out of the way. Lap traffic will probably be a factor here as the race gets into its later stages.
You say later stages?
Well,
now just under 16 minutes. This race is almost over, Sue.
Well, they're coming up on the back of Matteo Coppolaneri. That is the last car. Let's see if Coppolaneri is on the lead lap. He is. Last car
leader's
on the
off.
lap.
Leader is off. Osterkamp is in, Sue.
Well, off as into the pits. So
yes,
it will not be wire to wire today.
Sorry to all the Rene Osterkamp fans there who thought he had crashed terribly.
Skip a beat. There are bonus points for pole position and fastest lap. No bonus point for leading a lap.
All right, here's Josh Thompson back here and Phil Reed fighting. It was actually Ryan Walker. Those two were side by side, but now I'm watching Josh Thompson. Thompson with trouble.
Right in front of Walker. Thompson does a good job of... Looks like he's playing Pokemon Go there. Had to pick up one of those little guys and brings it right back on the track after his little trek through the German countryside.
Just gets a piece of the grass, and boy, that just did not work out well. That's a shame for Josh. He didn't need that to happen after a pit stop, that's for sure.
And this is going to be interesting. We can stay there. Let's go live right now. He shakes out right next to Charlie Summers as they are Cialis bathtubs as they work through the stadium section. That's Summers in the blue-tinted car. Thompson with the red Radical machine. Thompson now out in front. Osterkamp is in and out. He cycles out in 7th position.
Yeah. With everybody in front of him having a pit. Boy, I'll tell you what, things look great for Rene Osterkamp right now.
Clear track ahead of him. He's got a ways before he gets up to Lubomir Morris and Daniel Morris. And both those drivers will need to come in for a pit stop pretty soon as we race with only 13 minutes to go. Kessler going around one more time.
Soup, can anybody stop Rene Osterkamp? Man, he's on a roll.
3 for 3 in the feature. Luke Barton coming in. Now, this will be interesting. This is our chance. Barton comes in to pick up Phil Reed. Reed right now just on the back straight, heading down into the final chicane right now. Honestly, I think he's a little farther back than when I saw him last time we did this. Barton is in his box. Pit stops are a little longer than previous season because they make them take tires. Barton is rolling.
Here comes Phil.
Reed's on the straightaway, but I don't think he's going to get there. I think Barton's going to get out comfortably ahead. Yep.
Plenty
Barton
comfortable there.
Cycles out in 8th. Reed in 10th. Why didn't I talk about Ryan Walker, you may ask? Well, he needs to make a stop. Talking about stops, they've got to be coming pretty soon. Kessler still racing. Go ahead.
Look at this. Our leader, Rene Osterkamp, about to pass Daniel Morris. That's right, Daniel Morris, who's currently in 5th and still needs to stop. That tells you what kind of run Osterkamp's on right now.
You want to make this series fair, just put everybody on full fuel and make Osterkamp put him on short fuel. Make him come in and make a pit stop, because that's basically what's going on right now.
Well, the
Go ahead.
I was going to say that the mandatory tire rule this season kind of eliminated the need for that.
Well, Reed and Walker going at it, but here's Osterkamp now going around. Well, trying to go around side by side. Careful there. Going around Daniel Morris, moving up into 5th. And remember, Morris still has to pit.
Yes. Lubomir pulls off right in front of him. That was another position and another driver that still needed to get his stop in.
Lubomir will be going in there. I think Reed is probably going to be able to pick him up. It'll be interesting to see if Josh Thompson has a chance to get to Lubomir. Let's go to Thompson right now. This battle continues. This is Summers and Thompson. These two guys have made their stop. They're also trying to hustle around and see if they can get to Lubomir Morris. They go through that final chicane with 11 minutes of racing to go. Now they go through the Coca-Cola final corner.
Lubomir is rolling.
Lubomir is rolling. I think he should be able to get out ahead of these guys. Takes a little while before he can go full song. He does. And
good stop on Lubomir there.
Yeah. Summers is into that first corner first, ahead of Thompson. Kessler, Hoyer, and Alexis Sorokin still to pit. Morris, Dove, and Morris and Dove as well. I know if you're new, you'll say, well, gee, the longer Patrick Kessler can go, the less fuel he'll need. No, doesn't work like that. You all start with the same amount of fuel. You still need to take the same amount of fuel, whether you take it early, like Phil Reed did, or whether you take it late, or like Patrick Kessler's going to do right now. Take it right now. Kessler is in. I would imagine that Manuel Hoyer is going to have to follow suit. No. Manuel Hoyer is going to stay out one more time. Sorokin comes in, though. So with Kessler finding his box, we automatically take a quick look to Rene Osterkamp. The gap was only about 2 seconds when the pit stop was made, so if Kessler
there goes Osterkamp.
Kessler rolling. Well, at least Kessler's rolling first.
Yeah, he is rolling.
He's to the dotted line first.
There we go.
Pretty darn close.
Not bad. Wow. A lot closer than I thought that was going to be. Wow. Okay. I'll take this.
It is the white rims of Rene Osterkamp out in front of the black rims of Patrick Kessler.
Yeah, those black rims are a lot closer now.
Black rims seem like they'd be faster to me. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely. Black is always faster. Even though they tell you you look slower in black shoes, I've never believed that. So.
Okay. So the question is, our director doesn't know that. That's when tennis shoes were all black, director. Just trust us on this.
That's a very old reference. I'm sorry.
Coming around here as the leaders are still out there. Manuel Hoyer, if he can stretch it for another 8 minutes and 20 seconds, he can no-stop this. That's not going to happen. We should report that Sorokin made his stop, and he cycles out in 6th.
Yeah, Alexei having another solid day here, man. I don't know what's not to like about this driver. He is off to a really good start here this season. Hoyer is in. So our leader is in, and, well, let's see. Let's see how quickly Osterkamp can get there. He's already out of Coca-Cola. Oh, there you go. Hoyer's rolling.
Yeah, the question will be how Hoyer comes out in relationship. There goes.
I said Hoyer was rolling. He wasn't rolling. My bad. He's rolling now.
Now he's rolling. Here we go. You fooled me there. I said looking for a car who was rolling. All right. So Hoyer is out, and he's going to get out comfortably ahead of Luke Barden.
Okay. So a really good battle on track, though, right now is for the top 10. Daniel Morris being hounded by Josh Thompson and Charlie Summers. Summers is the one that's really all over Thompson right now. Sorry, Dove. Ryan Walker in the pits. They pass them for position. It's 2 wide down into the first turn. Make it 3 wide, maybe.
Daniel Moore.
Oh.
Yeah, Summers gets around Thompson, and then he also gets around Daniel Morris, who was just surrounded by these two guys.
Charlie getting a twofer right there, and we'll watch it develop down the front straight, down into the Coca-Cola turn here. I'm sorry, not Coca-Cola, down into Castrol.
He had the run behind Thompson. Thompson took the tight line in, and then Summers said, well, I can go even tighter.
Good stuff.
And then poor Daniel Morris didn't know where to go as he had these two guys coming left and right on him. Morris loses 2 spots. He falls back into 10th. Sarah Dove in and out of her stop. Where does she cycle out to? She was
in the 12th. Yeah, she cycles out in 12th, and she right now making a charge at Dominic Gattemeyer.
So with just over 5 minutes to go, we can report Osterkamp only has a 1-second lead over his teammate, Patrick Kessler. Then it's quite a gap back. It's about 13 seconds before you get back to Manuel Hoyer. His pit stop is out of the way. Luke Barton racing all by himself in 4th. He's got a nice cushion back to Sirotkin in 5th.
Soup, with 5 minutes left, I think it's time to pay a little bit of attention to who's in 20th right now. It's Connor Ryan. He's got Van Hoyman and Butlar. Now, Butlar had to pit early in this race, and I don't know if he's got enough fuel to finish right now. I think he may still have to peel off. And he spun, so scratch that. But right now, I think Brian's got to be a little bit concerned about the pace of Van Hoyman behind him.
Of course, the cut line will change if somebody up front has trouble here in the next 4.5 minutes. But right now, Van Hoyman has two chances. He's either got to catch Connor Ryan, or he has somebody have trouble in front of him. Of course, why do we care? Well, sitting on the pole for the sprint race, that's where the invert mark is. That's the cut line, 20th position. Double X's, Dos Equis. Nothing going on up front. That gap, 1.2 seconds between the two contrasting rimmed drivers of Osterkamp and Kessler.
Yeah, honestly, the battling behind them right now is to one, stay in the top 20 and little individual battles for position, such as Charlie Summers and Josh Thompson. Then the 4-pack battle right now of Gattemeyer, Allender, Dove, and Alistair Hay. And I got to be honest, Allender, after starting near up front, has done a good job to actually stay in the top 20. I was worried about him there for a while. But again, Allender done a great job to just keep it here in the top 20, currently sitting in 12th.
Before it's too late, let's give a little love to the driver in 30th position. He was talking to me during the midweek break, and this is Stuart Milne. I learned a few things that, Sean, you had to pronounce correctly. It is Milne. And I also got permission from a man nicknamed Soup that I get to call him Stu. So it's Milne.
And you know what? You know how I knew that's the way that was the spell, or was pronounced. I don't know. You remember the name Roger Milne from what was the American Graffiti? It was the guy that drove the yellow Ford.
Oh my God! Yeah. Nobody is gonna get.
I know nobody's gonna get that. But here we.
All right. Roger Milne. Okay, that's good. Riding on board, and our director apparently knows that reference. Good job. Best battle out there might be is Thompson stretched away Morris. They're starting to settle down a little bit, huh?
Yeah. It's really just behind Valtteri Allender, as I was saying. Gattemeyer, Sarah Dove, and Alistair Hay all kind of bunched up here. One mistake could open up an opportunity for the next.
You know, we were talking about Van Hoyman in 20th, but he has. Let's
what's
see
happened?
What's going on?
What's happened? He's dropped out. I'm not seeing him.
Nope, I don't either. Well, now he's showing in. I have him on the track, but he's showing in 27th position.
I'm afraid he might have suffered some sort of an issue.
He still has the same track position, but he wasn't scored a lap, I think.
Connor Ryan has now moved up. Connor Ryan has now moved up to that 20th spot. So Ryan, after fighting for a lot of this race,
Ryan had it. It was Van Hoyman who wanted to run him down in 21st, but Tom has now scored in 28th. So that's where I was thinking that I think he had a connection issue where he didn't get credit for a lap run. So now things are looking real good for Ryan. Go ahead, John.
No, that's okay. I'm done. Sarah Dove gets by Gattermeyer. Oh boy, they're fighting. Three of them. I told you this was really the best battle left on track. Look at this madness.
Careful, boys. That's Gattermeyer on the inside. That's Ali Hay in the red car side by side, watching the whole thing back there. That is Sarah Dove.
Sarah back there giving him the business herself.
29 seconds of racing to go. I believe we're going around one more time, or are we on the white flag lap? It's going to be really close. One more time around. Osterkamp going into the hairpin right now.
Yes.
So,
this will be the final. This will be the final lap.
So Osterkamp gets the white flag. That means that these guys that we were watching, and we can go back and look at Dove for a while, see what's going on there. They'll get to go around. They'll finish this lap and go around one more time. My goodness. Man. Here we go. That's Hay looking to go on the outside. Gattermeyer, remember, Sean, he was our sprint race winner last round.
Yep.
Great three-car battle being put on right now.
Yeah, and they're fighting, and it's a lot of fun to watch, but they're really fighting to just start in the middle of the pack on the redraw. But I will say it's been a lot of fun. Dove now trying to get up along Hay and Vidal. No. Hay gets through there first. Hey.
And here comes another one as a driver comes in. Glenn Key. We keep on this one as they come across the start-finish line right now. Let's go ahead and check on Osterkamp. Osterkamp just through the corner number 8, the hairpin, looking on the back half of the track, so we can stay where we are.
Dove is got the inside, and she's got it first. Oh, so close with Alistair Hay. Allie going to have that position on the inside. Boy, but Sarah with a really, really good run there on the outside soup, and now she seals the deal.
She's got that done. But Allie not giving up. Sarah Dove with a case of hay fever here, as right behind him is Alistair Hay. These guys have lost touch with the Gattermeyer. That was the best thing that could have happened to Dominic as they start to pull away. All this going on the white flag lap. Our leader right now going into the final corner. Let's go up to Rene Osterkamp as he comes out of the final corner, round number 3, like it was for round number 2 and round number 1, and the feature race goes to Rene Osterkamp. Patrick Kessler gets second. Manuel Hoyer gets third. Let's go ahead and jump all the way down to the Hay, Dove, and Key battle. They're working the back half of the track. Here he comes, Sean.
Man. And Allie really, really putting pressure on Dove. Dove's around. Oh, we followed it too long, Soup. We followed it too long.
She's got time.
Oh, watch out. Here comes Herca Lidstrom.
That's going to cost. She's going to fall back into 16th spot. She wants to get Lindstrom back. We'll stay on that. We're looking at it. She does. She does a little pirouette. She gets that spot back on Lindstrom. It looks like Hay is going to safely come across in 13th position. Key is going to get 14th. Dove, after going through the alfalfa. Let's stay on this one. Oh, my goodness. Lindstrom wants it.
Does. Watch out. There's no room out there.
And the finish line.
Sarah's going to get it.
Sarah comes home in 15th. Erka Lindstrom in 16th. Let's go back to our Dos Equis position. That goes to Connor Ryan. Look for him if he's got the intestinal fortitude to be up on the pole for the sprint race. Well, remember, this is a doubleheader event, and the best part of any doubleheader is the break between events. Is that perfect blend of the post-race high and the pre-race jitters. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to a few of the drivers they want to come in and talk to us before we get all of our ducks in a row for the sprint race that will follow shortly. Back in a few. Sanctioned by Apex Online Racing, it is the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Season 10 Championship, brought to you here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Let's give you the finishing order of the feature race that just finished up. Renee Osterkamp and Patrick Kessler, we've said it before, they go 1-2, another feature win for the points leader. Manuel Hoyer and Luke Barden and Alexis Sorokin round out your top 5. Back half of your top 10, it's Phil Reed, Lubomir Morris, and then a great battle. Charlie Summers outduels Josh Thompson for 7th position. Thompson gets 8th, Summers gets 8th, Thompson gets 9th. Rounding out your top 10, if I can get there, it's Daniel Morris. All right, Sean, I finished my part. Okay.
There we go. All right, Valtteri Allender recovers to finish in 11th. Good job for the Finn. Dominic Gattemeyer, 12th. Alistair Hay, 13th. Glenn Key, 14th. Sarah Dove will wind up 15th. Erka Lindstrom, 16th. Evan Imre, 17th. Ryan Walker, 18th. 19th. James McRitchie. And your pole sitter for the sprint race, Connor Ryan.
Probably the best news for the entire field is the driver who finishes in the blackjack position, Christian Tkach, put Tkach on the pole for the sprint race, and it's good night, nurse. He's going to be starting, though, from 21st when we invert because he's too far out. David Waitalar in the double duck spot, Robert Sugar Plumley, 23rd, Marvin Sluman and Adam Hedgecock go 24th and 25th, and then rounding out the rest of the field, it is Thomas Adriami Heria Sosa. Boy, that came close. I'll do that. Let me try that one again since it's fun. Adriami Herisoa. Here we go. That one. All right. Then I got another one here. Matteo Coppola Neri. And then we'll get down. These last ones are going to be easy. John Roberts, Stuart Milne, Tom Van Hoyman, who I think had internet connections. He had a shot at that Dos Equis spot, and Joseph Ringrose. All right, Sean. Did anybody brave enough to come in and talk to you, or have you scared them off once again?
No. We've got a couple there that would like to talk real quickly. I'll tell you what. Why don't we start with Sarah Dove and let her commiserate for just a second? What do you think, Sue?
That's fine. You want her or me? It's who
no, that's all right. Sarah, tough break there at the end, but you're still on the regrid. You're in the top 20. You're going to have a good restarting spot for the sprint race. How do you like your chances? You had really good pace in the feature.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised with my pace in the feature. I was wanting to beat Dominic just to show him that he only won that sprint race because I wasn't next to him. But unfortunately, 2 other cars came along and kind of messed things up a bit. But yeah, I hope the sprint goes well.
Listen, that was a great battle over the last several laps of the race. Do you like racing in tight quarters like that, or you rather have a little bit of space around you?
I'd rather have some space because I've only got one monitor, so it's a bit hard to see.
Oh, okay,
what's
yeah.
going around, so.
Gotcha. Definitely sympathize with that. Listen, we wish you the best here in the sprint race. Again, you're going to have a good regrid and another great start to the race. Should bode well for you, so we'll keep our eye on you.
Yeah, I only spun once in that race, so it's looking good.
Awesome. Well, best to you, and we'll catch up with you in a little bit. And Soup's going to talk to Tom Van Hoyman real quick.
Tom, we thought you were going to get to the 20th spot. Did you have an internet connection problem or something? Next thing I know, you're a lap down.
Yeah, it was a good race. I was a P13, and Charlie spun the car, and just at the chicane, and he just came across the track, so I needed to brake and got planted from behind. So that was the first thing, and after that I got in a second incident who put me more back. But the point is, I was catching Connor, but already from all that incidents, I got 12 incident points from only car contact. If you guys race Nürburgring, you know it's very easy to get incident points here. So only 3 together, and I was disqualified.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's what happened to you.
Oh, he disappeared off into the ether on us, and we missed it. Oh, darn it.
I was very frustrating at the end, but yeah, that's what happened. But yeah, I think the crashes were not my like that was my fault. So.
Well, that was too bad. We thought you had a chance at it, so now you're going to have to work your way through the field. Well, look, it's a long season. Put this one behind you. Have a good sprint race, and then we'll see you down the road.
From the last spot nearly, so I'm going to do my best, and hopefully I can get some points with top 16.
Yep, there you go. Okay, and then finally our last interview. We'll kind of quickly, Sean, really quickly. Let's talk to Luke Barton.
Yeah, Luke. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. That was a good race for me.
Yeah, it was. You had good pace. You stayed out of trouble, and you had a couple of battles, but for the most part, you did the most important thing. You kept it out of trouble.
Yeah, I wanted to have a quiet race. I seemed to get myself involved in too much trouble in previous races, so my goal now is just to keep my nose clean and bimble along nicely.
Well, certainly the points that a 4th place brings you are a great way to get the day started. What do you think about your chances of coming through the field here on the regrid?
I'm always apprehensive starting back in the field because there's always trouble up ahead, right? So hopefully I'll just keep out of trouble and show my pace.
All right, sounds good. We'll let you get ready, and well, hopefully we get a chance to talk to you again before the day is over.
Cheers, guys.
And
okay.
Cheers to Luke Barton, Sue.
We've got all of our business out of the way, so what we'll do right now is take another short break. Don't go far. We'll be back to bring in the sprint race in just a few minutes as the bells are chiming on the local cathedral here in Germany. Back in a few. Soup and Crackers, Bill Soup Zahn, Sean Crackers Ambrose here for the Global Sim Racing Channel, bringing you our coverage of the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Season 10 Championship from the Nürburgring Grand Prix Strecke. And Sean, we got the feature race in the books, so now we turn our attention to the always exciting sprint race. What the heck's going on here?
Guten Tag, Soup. Welcome back. Listen, this race, important. It's a sprint race. It's 25 minutes. Now, we've inverted the top 20 from the feature race, and all 20 finished on the lead lap. So, they'll all be inverted, 1 through 20. Now, pit stop, you're not going to need one in this race. No reason to worry about that. The incident cap, it's a little bit less. And talking in the interviews there, pushing the cap at 15. Man, if you get into trouble early, that could be a really big issue. Now, remember when I talked about the points earlier when we were talking about the feature race? Well, it only pays 20 points to win the sprint race, and it pays back to 16th place rather than 20th like we had in the feature. Now, why don't we take an opportunity to look at those race points to give you a better idea of what you could possibly earn. Obviously, Soup, you can max out your points by winning both events at 52 points. Okay, and that's how that all stacks up. And you see everybody slots in behind. Again, the feature race worth 32 points to win, and sprint race 20. Again, that gives you 52, and well, that's optimum result, obviously, and that's how you get yourself a championship. René Oosterkamp, again, leading the championship, certainly hasn't hurt his efforts today with a win here in the feature. But Soup, I'll tell you what, the double is a rarity. We've only seen it happen a few times over the past few years, but I think maybe there's potential today for a double. Oosterkamp's going to have a lot of work ahead of him, but this track, it seems like you can pick up positions pretty rapidly. If you're on point, you've got good pace.
The championship, though, is determined in the sprint races. Yes, the feature is nice and going wire to wire, and that's what Oosterkamp has basically done the first 3 times. But why René is doing so well is he's been able to follow up those sprint races by the feature races by coming through the pack and getting decent finishes in the sprint races. I think he's got a couple of thirds so far. What you need to avoid is getting into trouble and getting zeros, because while the gap is big to his teammate Kessler, if Kessler happens to come in and get a third and Oosterkamp runs into trouble, which can happen, that can change your day. That's why we give you the beginning of the beginning of every one of these races, we give you best of day, because we never really get a chance at the end of the broadcast to do the math. How you get the combination of what you score in the feature and the sprint, that's what it's all about. And Oosterkamp has been able to throw up a couple 50s so far.
Yep, and boy, the deeper you get into the season, I don't want to be Captain Obvious, but you allow him to get away with so many of those. The deeper you get into the season, it becomes a real chore. It's an impossible hill to climb at some point. And well, listen, you keep getting great results like Oosterkamp, you don't have to worry about drop races.
Yeah, and that's what makes the hill that much harder to climb, is there are 3 drop races. The way that works is you have to drop your entire event. You just don't get to pick and choose, I'll drop this feature and that sprint. You basically drop your whole weekend. Or if it's one of the rare single races, then you drop that one. It's whatever happens on that day of racing. We talked about Sarah Dove. She was kind enough to come in and do an interview with us. If you watched round 2, the sprint race, she had a start for the archives there, where she came through and put the toothpaste back in the jar, as we like to say here in the United States, and she found herself in front from 3rd position. She's going a little bit farther this time. I believe she's starting outside of row 3, so it's a little farther to go.
Yeah, again, the thing that was impressive for Sarah in the feature race is that she had really good pace here. Really seemed to be comfortable until, of course, the last couple of laps. But, in the midst of a battle, anything can happen, just as it did for Sarah. But I expect another good run for her here, as long as, again, being Captain Obvious, as long as you stay out of trouble. So That's always the name of the game, isn't it?
Well, being able to stay out of trouble, that's something Connor Ryan is pretty good at, too. And he'll be on the pole. And that's what you want from these guys when they get inverted. Yeah, they're not going to have the pace. You just want them to be predictable. You just don't want them making a mistake in front of the field. Because the nature of the beast here, Sean, on these sprint races, compared to the feature races that are based on qualifying, the field stretches out because the fast cars are in front, slower cars in the back. That doesn't happen in these sprint races. Everything stays tight because the back guys are trying to work their way through. Hopefully, not trying to do it all in one lap.
Yeah, several drivers out on track here working on their pace here. Just quick warm-up session. Let everybody get settled in. Make sure all the drivers get back here. Watching Manuel Hoyer. His last lap around on 153.3. That's pretty good pace.
I don't want to be Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, if you know that one. Oh, we'll never make it. Oh, but I got a bad feeling about what's going to happen in quarter number 1 this time because
I hope not.
There's a lot of guys down there who are going to try to get it all back in one corner.
Okay, it's like. So here we go. Let's go to the grid. Forget it. I'll talk about it.
All right. It's Connor Ryan and James McRitchie, Ryan Walker and Evan Imre, Urka Lindstrom, Sarah Dove make up your first 3 rows. Glenn Key, Ali Hay, Dominic Gadermeyer, and Valtteri Alander back in 10th position. Sean?
All right. Daniel Morris, Josh Thompson, Charlie Summers, Lubomir Morris, Phil Reed in 15th, Alexei Sorokin in 16th, 17th for Luke Barton, Manuel Hoyer in 18th, Patrick Kessler 19th, and Renee Osterkamp 20th.
The man who was 1 spot away from winning this sprint race, Christian Tkach in 21st. Robert Sugar Plumley, Adam Hedgecock, Thomas Adriami Aherasoa, Matteo Coppola Neri in 25th. John Roberts, Stuart Mild, John Van Hoyman, Joseph Ringrose, Marvin Sluman, David Wutalar, and in 32nd position, it is Scott Newton. Hey, a second commentator's bonus for us. We're going to Arby's. Gather up the chickens here in a minute. Wait a minute. I got a little ahead of myself. I hope you got them now. Take cover behind the cows because those horses are out of the water one more time, and it is Connor Ryan leading them down into the first corner. How's it going to play out behind? James McRitchie gets through okay. Working on the outside, that's Ryan Walker. Evan Rolling Thumber Imre up in front. He's a veteran. He should be in good place in 4th position. Sean, it went okay. Oh, one guy off. That was Imre went a little wide.
Man, and they were 3 wide still, almost 3 wide here. Yeah, 3 wide getting out of Mercedes. Still bunched up here in the middle of the pack.
They've managed to work through the technicals, and now they head into Ford. This is another tough right-hander. So far, so good. Some action going on a little farther back. Everybody stays the same.
3 wide out of Ford. And boy, it's a catch in the middle of that. So Renee Osterkamp.
Barden involved in it. On lap 1, it is Barden, and another car took the tow. It was Valtteri Alander. So Barden, Luke was worried about it. We have it bookmarked. We'll come back and look at that in a minute. Meanwhile, up in front, Connor Ryan, James McRitchie.
Yeah, that battle for second's intense. Walker was all over McRitchie. They're heading to the turn.
Now they head down into the final chicane. First there is Walker. I'm sorry, it's McRitchie in second is first there. Walker behind him. Watching the whole thing is Lindstrom. Look at this battle here. Key and Lindstrom going side by side and move Glenn Key up into 4th as he tries to run down our leader, Connor Ryan. They finish lap number 2. Ryan, McRitchie, and Walker. Oh, look at this. Coming back. Fighting back on the inside now. That is Lindstrom, and he's going to get it back. Little dipsy-doo, a little up and under. I think so. Here comes Key. Sean, go back. Sarah Dove in 6th. Where's our first big-name driver? Thompson maybe in 9th?
Yeah, Thompson in 9th. He's up 3 spots. Phil Reed back there. Glenn Key, though, just gets around Urka Lindstrom to go up to 4th. Boy, Glenn moving really well here within the top 10.
Sara
with
in
an
the mix.
opportunity. Yeah.
Leader of that three-car train. Key, Lindstrom, and Sara Doves. They work through Ford. They're not that far behind the front three of Ryan, Walker, and McRitchie. They work lap number 2. Reed is now up to 11th. Hoyer, Kessler. Osterkamp just got around Sirotkin. Osterkamp in 14th. Plenty of time for these guys to get there. A battle for 8th. Let's go to Thompson in 8th real quick.
Yeah,
He's right behind Evan Imre.
He just worked out a move around Gatemeyer there. And now, like you said, it's time to work on getting by Evan Imre.
And you can see that just at the left of your screen, you can see Ali Hay coming in there. He's going to get Gatermeyer as well. Gatermeyer won the sprint race last time, going the wrong direction this time, racing in 10th. Let's go up to 7th. This is Thompson on Imre. Imre qualified 4th. He's fallen back some. Look at Thompson now with a run. Give another spot to Thompson.
Always tricky getting down into the hairpin here. Got to be careful at Castro not to loop the car.
Walker has got around Connor for the lead. We have a new leader. Ryan Walker made the pass. Connor now back into 2nd. McRitchie continues to be in 3rd. The man on the move is Glenn Key as he makes the pass on James McRitchie, who makes a mistake. Glenn Key is up to 3rd with a bullet.
Yeah, look at that. Glenn really starting this race off well.
Sara Dove in 6th, but here comes Thompson. Thompson, we looked for the first big name, and I think it is Josh as he works on the back of the blue car of Sara Dove. Walker, Ryan, Key. Then it goes back to McRitchie, Lindstrom, then back to the, I've been advised, the purple car of Sara Dove, racing in 6th, soon to be in 7th. As Josh Thompson is going to make the move on his country mate, and he does.
Yeah, I'm going to debate the color on Sara's car a little bit. It's more of a pinkish purple. But okay, a magenta. We'll take that. I like that. You got to remember all of your colors in the crayon box there, Sue.
All right. Well, look at the magenta car is fighting like she's red hot. She was not giving up on Thompson, but Thompson able to get to the chicane first. Thompson within striking distance of the leaders. Ryan Walker, after getting around... I'm sorry. Well, I kind of got that right. It's Ryan Walker getting around Connor Ryan. That's not fair to the commentator.
No, it's not.
After Walker got around Ryan, he hasn't been able to pull away.
Yeah, Connor Ryan breaks really deep that time there into the Castrol hairpin. Yeah, Osterkamp and Kessler here. They're battling hard.
Coming up on Gatermeyer. I hear a spinner here somewhere. Nope, I guess we're okay. Butalar goes off into the grass, but we don't need to cover that one. Look at those two SimRC cars. Are we on slow motion there? We're looking at that one. Are they going a little slower than they should, or am I seeing that right? I guess we're okay.
Man, I don't think Gatermeyer likes this track, Sue. He is his pace just off, but look at the battle between Kessler and Osterkamp. Behind him, the teammates going at it. Oh, and Gatermeyer's disappeared from my screen.
He's back from the swamp. Gatermeyer, he's blinking. Oh, that's got to be frightening. And he's back. Let's stay on this battle. This is Kessler ahead of Osterkamp. Boy, it's good racing here. I so much want to take you up to some of the other stuff, but that's okay. We can stay where we are. I can report that Reed is now in 9th. He's coming. Thompson has got around Urka Lindstrom. Well, let me change that. Let's go to 5th real quick. Lindstrom fighting back. Nice pass back on Josh Thompson. Urka Lindstrom not giving up the ghost. All this going behind the leaders. Yeah, look at that. And there's Glenn Key. We talked about it, Sean. He's coming. Key got around Ryan.
Phil Reed just picked up another spot, too. It's just crazy what's going on right here. Phil actually now up to 8th. Look at this with Thompson going back at it.
Looking at that battle. My gosh.
Give that round to Josh Thompson? I don't know.
Thompson back to 5th around Lindstrom.
Connor Ryan with a bit of a mistake just ahead of them. Sue got really, really wide. I think off track, still struggling with the car.
Ryan is going to lose that spot to James McRitchie. Nope. He's able to hold him off. Connor Ryan holds him off. So many stories to tell. We got the battle up front where the guys closing in. Then you have the fast guys working their way through the field. Right now, Glenn Key is trying to work down Ryan Walker. But they only have about 2 seconds back to Connor Ryan, James McRitchie, and then Thompson, who's trying to get around. Once Thompson can clear Ryan and McRitchie, then that changes the story completely. Reed has worked his way around Emery. It won't be long until he's on the back of Sarah Dove. Sarah Dove all over Urkel Lindstrom. I don't mean to jump you around so much, but honestly, it's the only way for us to cover one of these.
It's the nature of these sprint races, exactly, man. It's always just tooth and nail and fighting for every inch and side-by-side racing.
Let's go to 11th. This is Alistair Hay. He's going to give up the spot to Osterkamp. Osterkamp now ahead of his teammate Kessler. Kessler gets through Hay as well. They come up behind Hoyer and Emery. Emery is off, but he's going to stay out of trouble. Going by is Hoyer, going by is Osterkamp, going by is Kessler, going by is Hay, and one more car. Alexei Sorokin goes by as well into 13th. Rolling Thunder Evan Emery had to settle into 14th. He went off, and then he also had to serve the slowdown penalty.
Oh, Soup, and I think we've lost Gademeyer again.
Meanwhile, let's go to Reed. Reed has got around Sarah Dove. He's got around Lindstrom. He's now up into 6th. He's working on the back of James McRitchie. Reed is hustling.
Yes, he is, Soup. He is a man on a mission, hustling a lot more than Renee Osterkamp's been allowed to do here so far in this race.
Thompson has cleared Connor Ryan. So now there's nobody between Thompson and the front 2 duet. The gap from Walker back to Thompson, 2 seconds, but nothing between them except clear track. Look down here. This is a pass being made, and sure enough, Reed gets it around McRitchie. Reed moves up into 5th. McRitchie now side by side with Lindstrom. The magenta car of Sarah Dove right behind us. Those 3 cars race under a blanket.
That's some really impressive racing going on right here in this battle. Phil Reed up 10 spots now. So's Renee Osterkamp, to his credit. Oh, look at that. McRitchie almost gets into it there with Urkel Lindstrom.
Yeah, Lindstrom worked from the right side of the track all the way across the left, right in front of the nose of McRitchie.
Poor Sarah Dove back here, just a cornflake, looking for some milk right now. And she's got, look at that, Manuel Hoyer now all over the rear wing. Al pulls up alongside. Here comes Renee Osterkamp and Patrick Kessler.
Here comes the big names. Once again, they've managed to work their way through the field, and now they get behind Sarah Dove. They'll have a lot of confidence in Sarah. They've raced with her many a race. Osterkamp ducks to the inside, going into 1. Sarah will leave room. She does. She lets one SimRC car through. The other one will have to wait. That's Kessler.
Just when I thought Osterkamp was out of this thing. Hello, I'm back.
All this going on behind Glenn Key. We watched him march his way through the field. He's got a second lead over Ryan Walker, who's got a second lead over Josh Thompson, although Thompson is a-coming. And there's just one more car for Phil Reed in 5th to deal with. We're looking there at the 2 leaders. And there's Reed. He's got to get up behind Connor Ryan. Tip of the hat to Connor Ryan. Started on the pole. Still racing in 4th. We got to go back to 7th. I'm sorry to jump you around one more time. This is Lindstrom.
Yeah.
Manuel Hoyer trying to get, but here's Osterkamp in this mix too. He wants to get through these guys.
Well, Osterkamp's still trying to figure out a way. I'm sorry, Osterkamp's still trying to figure out a way to get around Manuel Hoyer right now. Like you said,
Sarah Dove almost got into Osterkamp, but she stayed off of him. And look at that, the final yellow car back there. That's Kessler, who was yet to get around Dove.
Here goes Hoyer. Finally getting that position away from Erkel Lindstrom there in the Vidal chicane. Hoyer almost loses it there. The front end of the car slid out from under him on the exit. He's able to get back on the power. Now Lindstrom is in trouble here with Osterkamp. Now in the tow. Going to look to make a move here down into the first turn.
And he gets him. The best news for Osterkamp was that Hoyer was able to get around Lindstrom. There was no way for Osterkamp to do it while they were racing so hard. Osterkamp now up to 8th. Hoyer into 7th. They got Mick Ritchie now as Hoyer tries up behind him, so it never ends. Now Osterkamp will have to wait for Mick Ritchie to get around. Let's go up to P2. And sure enough, Josh Thompson has got Ryan Walker. Man, I checked on that. The gap was substantial. I went back a little bit, and before I could get back to see it live, Josh Thompson had ran him down. He's come from 12th position.
Yeah, Josh has been really solid here in the sprint. We haven't talked about him a whole lot. It's been just a nice, steady drive up through the field. Glenn Key, just under 2 seconds ahead of him. 10.5 minutes to go. It's I'll tell you what, there's opportunity there for sure.
Took the words right out of my mouth. 2 seconds to go with 2-second lead with 10 minutes to go. I think Glenn Key would like that situation. Let's go back to 6th position here as we continue to look at Mick Ritchie. Now, Osterkamp is going to say to Manuel Hoyer, look, Manuel, you either get around that guy or I'm going to get around you and do it myself. Hoyer says, give me a minute, I'll get him. Renee says, I don't have a minute. There's less than 10 minutes to go, and I'm racing in 8th. Mick Ritchie doing a good job of just keeping that car straight. Hoyer nowhere to go. Now he's got to run. I think maybe he's got a chance here, Sean, down into 1. And Hoyer's going to finish. I don't think Mick Ritchie's going to force the issue. He does not. Can Osterkamp come through as well? No. Whoa! He thought about it.
He did think about it, didn't he?
All right. So now Hoyer is through. Now Osterkamp should be able to get this done pretty well. Meanwhile, let's keep an eye. Oh my goodness, the gap. 2.1 seconds between Key and Thompson. Thompson not able to make it up.
Not yet. No. Key's on it right now. He just said his that was the fastest lap, that last lap for the field. Osterkamp gets another one up to 7th.
And now this will be a little taller order for Osterkamp to get around Hoyer. Hoyer's been he's been the icebreaker so far. Hoyer's got 2.7 seconds to get up to Connor Ryan, though. Look at that. And you go back to Lindstrom a little bit. He's back in 11th position. Look at the guy right in front of him, Patrick Kessler. He's not been able to follow his teammate through. Nope. Kessler has been behind Dove for several laps now. Dove racing in 9th, Mick Ritchie in 8th. Look for Dove to go on the back of Mick Ritchie, too.
Yeah, Dove really trying hard to get around Mick Ritchie, but also trying even harder to keep Kessler out of the position. Bit of a defensive move there.
You can see at the top of your screen, that is the Russian driver of Alexei Sorokin making the pass, I think. He does, gets it done on Lindstrom. Lindstrom fighting back. Look at these guys.
Boy, that was a bold move by Sorokin there into Vidal.
There we go. Sorokin gets Lindstrom. Kessler gets Dove, finally. Osterkamp still behind Hoyer. Reed does not seem to be making up much time on Josh Thompson. Reed's got up into four. I'm sorry, on Ryan Walker. Walker 2.7 seconds ahead of Reed. Reed may have leveled out. And Sean, Thompson making up no ground on Glenn Key.
Not really. Right, it's still at that 2-second mark. Key just doing a really good job of pacing himself around here. Listen, he's got no traffic. He's clear ahead. He's clear behind. Focus on this track, this very, very tough circuit for about 4.5 more laps. And this race is yours. And Soup, if I'm not mistaken, Glenn Key will be a first-time winner for us here.
Oh, yeah.
In the AOR.
Oh, yeah. Looking at Osterkamp right now as he is all over the back of Manuel Hoyer.
Yeah, he is. Here he goes. Gonna pull a move here.
And he gets that made. Oh, a little bit of contact in the back. Don't know if we want to get that, but it involved our driver, Tommy Adriamahiriasoa. They were well off the scoring position, so we can just report that their race is done.
Kessler up to 8th, getting by McRitchie.
After Dove let Kessler by, Dove would like to get McRitchie's spot back.
So, you know what? The battle between Hoyer and Osterkamp not quite over. Osterkamp pulled up alongside in Coca-Cola.
Boy.
Hoyer still contesting this.
We go there now. A defensive line by our points leader on that one as Manuel Hoyer had a good run down into the first corner.
I think Hoyer taking the attitude, I'm as mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore, Sue.
Well, this is good news for Connor Ryan, who's only 1.5 seconds ahead of the point leader. He would like a little help from Manuel Hoyer if he could. Slowing down Osterkamp. Reed has chopped into Walker's lead by about 0.3 of a second for third. Key, it's under 2 seconds now. Thompson coming.
Yeah, he's picked up about 0.2 of a second. Yep. You know, he's got to get to within about somewhere between 4 and 0.6 of a second if he wants any shot to get in the toe. Obviously, down the front straightaway going to be the best opportunity. Did Sardub just gets by?
He did.
Wow.
She did. She did it the hard way. She did it on the outside.
A feisty bird today, Soup.
Yeah.
Very feisty.
She got a good run, got ahead, and then closed the door right at the corner entry. Watch this. This is a good pass here.
Feisty birds scare me. They intimidate me.
Well, they should. They got talons and beaks. Look at this as she gets out in front. It comes across, closes the door. Thank you very much. Sean, the gap to Glenn Key, 1.6 and change.
Yeah, you know, I see it. I see it. I just, boy, I don't know. Is there enough time left here? I estimate right now this is like 3 laps to go.
A little closer and he'll start to be in the toe.
Yeah.
Reed has closed in on Walker as well. And look at this. We talked about Connor Ryan. He wanted Osterkamp and Hoyer to battle it out. Well, that wasn't the case. Osterkamp now gets him up to 5th. Wow, that's how you get a championship. You're watching it right here.
You can just finish here at this point. He's going to have a great day. He's got just under 3 seconds to go catch Phil Reed, who's had a great run through the field himself. But Osterkamp really came on strong here in the second half of this sprint race. Hoyer behind him making the move here on Connor Ryan. Hoyer going to pull it off. Hoyer gets himself up to 6th.
If you're clock watching, Thompson has it down now to just over a second.
Yeah. And Soup at the line. I think it'll be about 2 laps to go. So Thompson going to definitely get a couple more chances to take a bite out of the apple here.
And look at third as well. We'll try to cover both of these battles, but Reed has ran down Ryan Walker. In fact, here comes Reed right now. He's going to make the move. Oh, the first chicane. The chicane is going to be tricky here. They come out of that. Oh, now he'll have the preferred position as they go through that final sweeping right-hander and give Reed up to third.
Thompson's got it under a second now. 0.8. A great run down the front straight. 2 laps to go, Soup.
With apologies to the rest of the field, we're going to focus our attention up here for these final 4 minutes of racing. Glenn Key trying to hold off Josh Thompson for the win. Key started in 7th position. He worked his way to the front.
Your top 6 is basically drivers that have worked their way to the front, except for Ryan Walker. Everybody else has come through the field to get here, including Glenn Key, who started back in 7th.
Move forward. The gap now 0.6 of a second. Basically, you can do it now by car lengths or feet rather than time. Here comes Thompson, about 3 car lengths back. He's there now. A couple of passing spots coming up here if he wants to push it. We've seen people make the pass into the chicane. That's 14 and 15. We go into the left-hander of 11. Now on the throttle. This is where Thompson wants to get a good run off of here. Great exit from Key as he doesn't lose a lot of ground. I don't think Josh is going to be close enough when they get to the chicane. Key drifts over to the right to get the good entry. Left, right.
No.
Thompson gets right up on his gearbox.
Yes, he does.
Now look at the drive. Thompson takes that wide entry. He'll get a good drive off of the final corner. Take a defensive line. He's trying to get over there. He didn't get there in time. Key tried to come across. Thompson was first to the gap. He's first into corner number 1, and now he is first on the track.
Wow.
Key did all he could to come across and take the defensive line, but Thompson got there first. Now the question is, does Glenn have anything for Josh? I don't think so. We'll watch. Final lap.
Oh, Thompson almost makes a huge mistake right there. Woo-hoo-hoo.
We'll stay on it. They go into Ford. Key right behind them. They are 5 seconds ahead of Phil Reed, who's not an issue. In fact, we'll hustle back in a minute. Walker is in real jeopardy of Osterkamp getting that spot as well, but we'll stay up front right now.
Yeah, well, Osterkamp continues to move through the field as he had just gotten around Hoyer.
Look at Key, though. He has not given up. Here he comes. He's got a chance if he wants it. He does not take it. Trying to pressure Thompson into making a mistake. Thompson is not immune from the mistake. He's made his share here on the GSRC broadcast. Now with about a 5-car length lead. Time is running out. Don't think there's enough time to get the pass made out of the final corner. Key will have to have a good run here and then make a dive into Coca-Cola. And he gets on his rear wheel. He's got to run. If you're going to take a dive, why not do it into Coca-Cola? They are Cialis bathtubs out of the final corner. Thompson has the momentum on the outside. Both drivers using their Flintstone feet. It goes to Thompson by 1/1000th of a second.
Are you kidding me? Wow. Wow. Look at this replay, Soup. Oh, my.
Here it is. He gets a little bit of help with a bump that ruins the momentum of Thompson. I thought that Josh on the outside would have the momentum, but both drivers, it was a drag race to the start-finish line.
I'm just, what was it, last night in the Lionheart Retro race, I'm sorry, Wednesday night, one of their closest finishes ever, not that close. And Soup, that might be as close as I think we've seen any here on the Global Sim Racing channel. That was amazing. What a fight. by Glenn Key.
1/1000th. The iRacing only scores it on our charts, down 3 decimal points after that with this show a dead heat. Well,
Man.
the AOR never fails to put on a good show. Congratulations to all the drivers for having a really clean race here under tough situation. Josh Thompson gets the win, but Glenn Key made him work for it. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Woo! Back in a few. Sponsored by the Apex Online Racing. This is GSRC's coverage of the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Season 10 Championship. The feature race was in the books. We just saw the sprint race, and boy, it was a barn burner, a humdinger of an event. Let's give you the final standings right now. Josh Thompson gets the win by 1/1000th of a second over Glenn Key, who did all he could to try to get that win. Phil Reed was able to work his way up from 15th for third. How about this, your points leader? This is how a championship is won. Renee Osterkamp, 20th to a 4th place finish. Manuel Hoyer comes home in 5th. The back half of your top 10, Ryan Walker. Patrick Kessler could not stay on the heels of Osterkamp this time as he lost a little ground in the points race. Connor Ryan started on the pole. Tip of the hat to him as he comes home in 8th and did not cause any problems. Sarah Dove made a good pass up to get up into 9th position. Alexei Sorokin comes from 16th to 10th. Sean?
All right, now pay attention to these next 10 because the Nightbot wants you to. James McRitchie, 11th. 12th for Erka Lindstrom. Evan Imre will finish 13th. Alistair Hay, 14th. 15th for Scott Newton. Lubomir Morris, 16th. 17th for Matteo Capoloneri. Robert Plumley, 18th. 19th for John Roberts. And our good friend Joe Ringrose will round out the top 20.
Lubomir Morris in the sweet 16th position, the last driver to pick up points there. 3 more drivers on the lead lap. It is Tommy Adriami Heriasoa. 22nd position goes to Adam Hedgecock and Dominic Gademeyer. He won last round's sprint. He doesn't do quite as well this time, coming home in 23rd. Then all the drivers that had trouble: Daniel Morris, David Buchelar, Marvin Sluman, Christian Tkach. Boy, didn't hear much from him. Look for him to do better coming up in future races. Charlie Summers, Stuart Milne, Tom Van Hoyman, Luke Barden, and Valtteri Alander in 32nd position. Okay, Sean, do we have interviews?
Oh, yeah, we do. We've got the winner. Soup, take him.
Josh Thompson. Josh, my goodness, you had to work for that one. And once I thought, was that the champagne cork popping? Once
that's perfect timing, wasn't it?
Once she got around Glenn Key, I thought, okay, well, Josh, he's ran him down. You had to take it home from here. Boy, Glenn did not give up on you. Gave you a little tap, and almost stole it from you at the end.
Yeah, it was I've not done much in the Renault lately, and to be honest, I didn't really enjoy racing at this track. I've never been a fan of it around Nürburgring and Renault, so I was quite surprised. But I knew I had the pace, but coming through and I got the gap down at one point, I'd keep making mistakes, and chicane going in too hot trying to carry the speed. So it was a bit of a shame, really, but no, I managed to get the move done. I thought Glenn would have been a bit more forceful down the main straight because he moved across, but then moved back, which I thought was quite surprising. It's a bit of an easy move, but then I messed up the last chicane and had to cover straight away. And as I went to cover, he went over the back of me, but I couldn't squeeze him up against the pit wall, into the pit wall, because it's been unfair. So I went outside to give it a run to the line.
Yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to talk about two passes. We're not going to talk about the very last one. Let's talk about the one where you took the lead. Glenn was coming across the track. I thought he was trying to protect the inside line, but you would have none of it. You just got there first.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I think Glenn didn't expect me to go for it so early on down the straight. I think he was going to start defending, the track starts to dip away with a kink. Most people cover across there. But obviously, I got such a good run because I forced him to go defensive into the last corner. And I knew straight away I could get to the inside, but at one point, I think it's because I managed to get my nose cone alongside his rear wheel, so he couldn't really move across, otherwise he's going to spin into the wall.
So did you look at Glenn at all when he's alongside of you? At the very end there, did you know he was that close, or were you just focused on going straight?
I knew he was close, and the only way I knew to be able to match him, because technically I thought the outside line would have been faster. Nürburgring, it's faster to go tight on entry and carry the speed through, and obviously I had to take a big stamp on the brake to get it to turn because I had a bit of rear wing damage, so I lost the rear on the brakes. But no, I literally knew I had to somehow give him a little rub to slow him down. Like it's anything like you're watching GT and like single seat and stuff like that. Everyone starts squeezing each other across the line. So one of those tactics really, and it only just paid off. I wasn't too forceful. I just gave it a little bit because if I was more forceful, I'd have gone around over him.
Yeah, some great racecraft from both you and Glenn. Congratulations on the win and for putting on a great show for us here on the Global Racing Channel. Good job, man.
Thank you.
Josh Thompson, our winner today by a hole.
Oh, Sue, are you with us?
I'm back.
You got moved there.
I was so excited, I decided to leave the room too. I have more work to do. Okay. Josh Thompson wins by 1/1000th of a second. That's what I was saying. I was going out the door. Okay, go ahead.
I think, you know what? I think we could talk to Ryan Walker next. Let's bring him in real quick because Walker was in the thick of that battle, and actually out of everybody that started the race here up front, Walker got the best result. You hung on and kept it in the top 10. Talk to us a little bit about your race, man.
Yeah, that was awesome, but it's probably the hardest that I've had to concentrate during the race. I had a good start. The aim for the first couple of laps was just keep out of trouble, and if I could keep out of trouble and stay at the front, then the plan was just basically try and stay up at the front as long as possible and try and finish on the podium. But people like Joss and Glenn and Phil caught up to me, so yeah, podium chance went out the window. But after that happened, I just thought, think of the long game and get to the finish, and managed to finish the race, and I'm quite happy with P6.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, there was a lot of action going on up there up front. A lot of fast guys that were trying to get around you there, and you held your own really, really well. I got to ask you about the opening lap. Now, I tested in these conditions as well, as far as overcast, low track temperature. That first lap is really tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I noticed that in the first one or two laps that the tyres took a while to get up to temperature and get some grip on them. But once they were up to temperature and had some grip on them, it was a pleasure to drive. So, yeah, I can hardly speak. I'm exhausted.
That's all right, man. This track is a workout. You're constantly turning the wheel here, it feels like. But, hey, congratulations for finishing in the top 10. You're going to walk away with a decent points day in the 007, and we'll see you next week, my friend.
Thanks, guys, and good job in the broadcast.
And we thank you for that, Mr. Walker. Let's see. I think maybe Connor Ryan.
That's who that is. Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk to Connor Ryan here real quick. Connor, you there?
I got you.
All right, Soup. There he is.
Connor, congratulations on you're on the pole. We talked about it starting the race. I said Connor Ryan's a guy who's not going to cause trouble, and sure enough, that's what you did. You had decent pace, but you just kept a nice line. You got to kind of be happy with 8th place, right? Maybe not. Tell me how you feel.
I'm happy with PA.
Yeah,
the main aim of that race was just to drive my own race, and I did that. I knew who I could fight and who I couldn't fight. You know, people such as Rene Osterkamp, I just kind of let them through because there's no point fighting. But yeah, points is points, so I'm happy with that.
Little by little, they got you. They picking you off one by one. This Glenn Key guy, have you raced with him before? He seems to. Do you race with him much on the track? Is he part of your group? He seems to be pretty quick.
I've raced with him a few times, not too many, but yeah, I know he's a quick guy, so yeah, one to look out for.
Were you nervous starting on the pole, or said, I got this, I'll just race my race, I'll be okay?
A bit of nerves, but it wasn't too bad. You know, once the race gets going, you don't really think about it, do you? So it was all right.
Well, congratulations. I thought you put on a good show. Good points day for you. 8th place here in the sprint. That'll get you a nice chunk of points. Good job.
Thank you.
Connor Ryan showing how you do it from the pole. That's a lesson. That's a textbook race that everyone needs to study. Did not cause problems. Raced his own race. Comes home with a decent point day.
Soup, going to talk to our old buddy Scotty Newton. Man, that's a pretty good race for you there. That's a lot of spots to pick up. Come all the way from the back of the field and finish 15th. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, gentlemen. Yeah, to be honest, missed the feature. Just slept in. Typical time zone difference and missed the alarm. So, I had to start at the back and then, just had to pick my way through the traffic. And luckily, everyone else was having incidents ahead, which allowed me to pick up the one more position than Rene for biggest mover.
Yeah, well, I guess it's always an interesting race, no matter what track you're at, when you've got to start dead last in the field. I don't know. What's your plan when you go into that? Is it stay out of trouble, or is it just to take advantage of opportunities as quickly as you can?
Both, to be honest, because of the fact that with the net code that I have to stay out of trouble to be able to make those positions. So, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. In my point of view, is I've got to try and get positions quickly to stay up the front, but I've also got to try and stay out of trouble at the same time. So, it's
sounds like
really.
It does sound like the best strategy for you is to knock it out in qualifying and really get yourself up there in the front of the field.
Yeah, well, I've got to turn up first to do that.
Right. Get out of bed, man. Yeah, I hear you. Hey, well, you know what? If you'd like, I can shoot you a reminder next week, social media reminder or something, maybe 30 minutes before the race. I don't know if you think that'll help. Just let me know.
Yeah, I will do. Next week, one of the home tracks for me, so hopefully I'll do a little bit better next week. To be fair,
that's right. We're heading to the island. Beautiful Phillip Island, yes, sir.
Yeah. So bit of a draft track, but one that I'm a little bit more confident at. Hopefully, I won't have to go from 28th to 9th like I did earlier in the season. So
we hope not.
Looking to put in a strong performance there.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. You have a good week. We'll meet you at Duhan. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's it. No worries. All right, cheers, fellas.
All right. And cheers to Scotty Newton. We appreciate him coming in and chat with us for just a second. We maybe owed him one there, but sorry he slept in and got in late and missed that feature race. Soup. Always fun seeing him fighting in the field.
Absolutely. And I didn't realize GSRC has a wake-up service. For a little extra fee, Sean will actually call you personally and wake you up no matter what time of day. He will sing to you. All right, I believe that's going to do it for us here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Oh, and one last thing for him. Bless you, Scotty Newton, for actually being aware that internet lag is an issue, and he races accordingly. Drivers should all take note of that. He knows that that's a problem, and he accounts for it when his racing's foul. Good job. Let's thank everybody at Apex Online Racing for organizing the Formula Renault 2.0 League, and to all the members who support this broadcast. We know we have a lot of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. Thanks to the company's equipment and software you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. The original music that gives every GSRC production that unique flavor and feel is thanks to Eric Echolm and June Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them.
Soup, the AOR returns in 1 week, Friday. July 6th at Phillip Island, as we were just talking about there with Scotty Newton. Man, we certainly look forward to seeing you there here on GSRC.
Well, to be clear, for Scotty Newton, it would be July 7th, I think. So, just in case he needs
yes,
a
it
little
will.
bit of... Okay, there
Yes,
you go.
it will.
Right.
It
All
will
right.
be July 7th for Scott Newton.
Continue.
Now, if you'd like more information about the Global Sim Racing channel, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you know what? You can find those on our website, or you can find them on our YouTube channel, but we're also on social media, and that's Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook if you just type in Global Sim Racing Channel, and we're also on Instagram, GSRC_Graham.
How does time work like on the North Pole? All right.
It's like doing math. We don't.
Okay, all right.
Really.
Like on the South Pole, you could like walk around the South Pole, and I don't know. Anyway, finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Sean Ambrose, our director Joe Peak, our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank you all for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.